Look out, Spider-Man fans! Sony producers just dropped some really crazy updates about the future of the live-action Spider-Man project. It's actually really great news. Let's go! So let's break down and then we'll talk about how we see these plans fitting into Marvel's plans for Tom Holland and the multiverse. Smash a freaking like on this video and let's begin. And so first up in this video, we're going to talk about the comments made about a live-action Miles Morales and a live-action Spider-Woman movie. And then later on in the video, we're going to talk about Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. Not only do we get some updates and comments by Amy Pascal, but Tom Holland himself gave us a quote about the movie. Okay, so all of these comments are coming from Sony producers that were talking to the press during the world premiere for Across the Spider-Verse. And if you didn't know, Across the Spider-Verse is getting rave reviews right now. The hype is through the roof. A lot of people saying it's one of the greatest comic book movies ever created. So if you didn't know that, I just want to throw that out there because you should probably go check out that movie if you like freaking awesome Spider-Man movies. But let's get into the comments made by Amy Pascal talking about future live-action Spider-Man stuff. She was actually incredibly candid talking about how you're going to be getting live-action Miles Morales and live-action Spider-Woman very soon. She was directly asked about Spider-Woman and a live-action Miles Morales, and she said both are in the works. You'll see all of it. It's all happening. And then producer AV-A-Rad teased that you're going to see a Spider-Woman movie sooner than you'd expect. He said, I cannot tell you yet, but it's coming.
What did he say?
Pretty interesting comments made by both these producers. I just had to wonder myself, like, are they talking about the Madam Web movie, as we've heard that there's going to be several Spider-Woman in the Madam Web movie, and that this film's actually going to be setting up a huge part of what Sony wants to do with the multiverse, perhaps even tying in to what's going to be happening in Venom 3? Or are they actually talking about a Spider-Woman movie? Now, this has been a project that's been rumored for a long, long time. Apparently, Olivia Wilde was working on this at one point and may still end up being the person that helms the film. Now, when it comes to Miles Morales, I think it's pretty obvious that you're going to get a live-action Miles. I mean, he's already being set up in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. And I remember around the time of Spider-Man No Way Home, there were a lot of rumors that Miles was going to be a big part of what they did next with Peter in Spider-Man 4. And that could obviously still be the case, but this all kind of rests on what Sony wants to do. What is their exact relationship with Marvel Studios moving forward? How much do they want to collaborate with Kevin Feige? Because I believe Sony has the right to just make Miles a live-action Spider-Man in their films and even restrict Kevin Feige from being able to do Miles Morales in the movies that he would collaborate with Sony on in the MCU. Of course, the hope is that they will figure out a way to work together. And I suppose it's possible you would get a Miles Morales over there with Sony, and you would also get Miles Morales over at Marvel in the 616 with Tom Holland. And I think especially with Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Part 2, you're going to see Miles Morales become even more popular than he already is. The movie's eyeing a massive opening box office and will likely do much better than the first movie did in the box office, which, if you didn't know, actually didn't crush it as far as making money, and it actually went on to have a huge life on Netflix. A lot of people discovered this movie via its long stay on Netflix. But all that time on Netflix has seemingly really grown the audience and the appreciation that fans have for Miles Morales and for that first movie. So a lot of people are just projecting the second movie to do way, way better, which will cause even more demand to see Miles Morales in live action. I'm personally of the mind and sort of hope that Feige gets to introduce Miles Morales, as I just trust Feige and the MCU way more than I just trust Sony on their own making friggin' Morbius and Craven the animal rights activist. Like, I'm quite skeptical of AV-A-Rad, doing his own thing over at Sony. But as far as a collaboration between Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige, I'm all for that. And I think it would be perfect to introduce Miles in Spider-Man 4 with Peter being where he is currently at, and perhaps even a little bit further down the line when we finally meet up with him for the fourth movie. It would make sense for him to be a mentor type character to Miles Morales, who would probably be just getting his Spider-Man powers. But frankly, these are cool updates, man. Getting live action Miles Morales, awesome. Great way to drop that news at the premiere for this incredible animated movie that centers around Miles Morales. And of course, having a Spider-Woman film, that would make a lot of sense. Who knows if it would be Gwen Stacy, right? I mean, damn, you could probably even get Haley Steinfeld to play that character, but then she'd also be Kate Bishop, so that's a little bit weird. But regardless, there's plenty of different Spider-Woman that they can pull upon and create awesome and compelling stories with. Now, the last thing we got to talk about in this video is Spider-Man 4. We got an update about Spider-Man 4. It's happening. Sony's actually been way more willing to talk about this than Marvel Studios or Tom Holland has been. But yeah, they sort of reiterated that it is happening. However, it is unfortunately hitting a delay because of the writer's strike. Amy Pascal had this to say. She said, "Are we going to make another movie? Of course we are. We're in the process, but the writer's strike, nobody is working during the strike. We're all being supporters, and whatever they get themselves together will get started." So yeah, again, Sony just saying, yes, it is happening, but being delayed because of the writer's strike, which makes sense. And we're about to maybe encounter a ton of other strikes in Hollywood. And so a lot of entertainment in general might be hitting pause or being delayed because of these different strikes. But it's always good to hear that they're continuing to make these movies. And they obviously have something massive with Tom Holland and the collaboration with Kevin Feige. And to kind of add into this, Tom Holland, Spider-Man himself, echoed a lot of the comments made here by Amy Pascal. He was asked about Spider-Man 4, and he had this to say. He said, "I can't talk about that, but I can say that we were having meetings. We've put the meetings on pause in solidarity with the writers. There's been multiple conversations had, but at this point, it's very, very early stages." And so it's cool, like Holland admitting that there's meetings going on. This is a definite change in tone from the time when Spider-Man No Way Home was coming out. If you'll recall, he was doing a lot of interviews talking about how maybe it's time to hang it up as Spider-Man. Maybe they're leaving off the character in a really good spot. And many of us just predicted that this was him kind of playing the game and trying to get a massive payday to be Spider-Man continuing forward. And to be honest with you, he deserves that payday. I mean, not only are his Spider-Man movies making oodles and oodles of money, but I think he's one of the most charismatic actors that the MCU has. And at a time when the MCU is sort of faltering and they don't have a lot of familiar faces around, they've introduced so many new characters. I think having Tom Holland Spider-Man play a major role in what's coming for the MCU is really valuable and important to the company. So by all rights, Spider-Man, Tom Holland, he deserves the bag, man. And I've heard that he's going to get it. And as far as I'm saying, it's early stages. While that is true, we've heard a lot of substantiated rumors from very reliable people as for what the plot of this movie is going to be. And I'm really looking forward to the fourth Spider-Man movie, which is rumored to be focusing on the fallout of the Deadpool Born Again show, with Kingpin being the mayor of New York City. And I think you're going to see Spider-Man really being a ground or street level hero with other characters like maybe even Daredevil or Punisher. And that's just going to be a really nice chapter for this specific character before we crack the multiverse open and seemingly have Tom Holland Spider-Man going across the multiverse doing absurd stuff leading into Secret Wars. It's going to be fun to just have him being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So there you go, guys. There's your updates about the coming live action Spider-Man stuff. What are you excited for? What are you skeptical of? Let me know in the comment section below. Smash a like on this video if you liked it. We'll throw up another video for you to watch. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.